Yo, what's going on? This is Namkraft and welcome to the Sister Starcraft English commentary. Let's continue with the second set in the fight between SoO and Hero as part of ASL Season 21 qualifiers day 2. And second set played on New Sylphid. The first set, the winner was Hero. Of course, this is very much cat and mouse game here, and very close. You could not possibly say there was Hero who is overwhelmingly ahead in that game, but just it came down to luck. This game around looks like Hero's got the advantage. Hero's got the advantage in the early stage because he is scouting in the right direction with his Overlord, but in the late game we don't know. Because if you look at the way that the games unfold, once the two players they have the expansions, it is going to be a straight shot from SoO expansion to attack onto attack onto Hero's main base here. But whereas Hero, if he wants to attack, he has to come around to his expansion first and then come through here. And if there's a threat of, for example, harassment of mutualists from SoO, Hero comes in to defend, and when he comes in, he leaves his front open. If he wants to go for counter-attack, the mutualist from SoO can just retreat along this diagonal and come back and support the army right here. So I've mentioned repeatedly, these kind of 3-player map, they are only balanced on paper. The moment the map, the map starts and you can actually see the players are spawning, you can already see who is going to be ahead. That is fine. It's part of the game. The overall balance is the same, but within each game it's not balanced. That's just basically the reality of things. So we shall see if that early scouting advantage will help Hero win the game. Looks like we're going to be having early pool. This looks like possibly over pool into gas. Okay, about the identical build. But once again, Hero is just one drone ahead. I wonder why. Because I you know what, nowadays I don't follow the build orders that much, and I actually don't have the capacity to do so because I'm not very smart, and I actually don't cast a lot of high quality games. As you know, I'm just a casual caster. But there is some difference here, and I wonder if it is just due to the way that the minerals are being mined or boosted differently between these two players, or actually there's a build difference. But anyways, 4 early zonings coming out from SoO, and on the other side of the map, Hero is gonna be having his lair, where both players will be taking lair, so that is not the difference in reality here. Anyways, 4 Zerlings have already started to come across the map. Additional Zerlings. Keep in mind that this map, you don't have a ramp, so it is going to be fairly hard to hold, but the choke is not large either. As you can see, the choke is very small. You can hold it with 4 Zerlings, maybe 5 is better. So SoO is gonna have to double up on the Zerlings if you want to penetrate that, otherwise he can just back up and try to go for something else. But once the early game has ended, what matters is where the positioning of the Overlords. As you can see, this Overlord from SoO has got a very nice strategic location right here. This is location. It's not very easy for the mutants to come all the way out there to snipe it, and it can actually give access to, for example, vision into the counterattack along this left flank, and there's going to be another Overlord here, whereas for Hero, his Overlord is here and here. This Overlord is fine. You can see what's happening inside the main base. You can actually count the drones. We cannot see army movement. And sometimes at the mid game in the ZvZ, you do want to see army movement more than you see the build of the other, because there's not a lot of things you can actually confirm with the build. It's how many drones, how many hatcheries finish. They're not going to optimize, for example, 2 drones on gas versus 3. It's very rare. Only in the early stage you do that. So that's basically that's my take on that. But looks like there's going to be some confrontation between these two players. Players coming out very nicely. And for the time being, looks like those they have Zerling speed. It looks I have a speed blindness. I don't know how fast the Zerlings are. I apologize. By the way, on this channel, I will be very blunt and I will tell you what I don't know and what I know. And actually, I don't know a lot. I'm not gonna talk bull crap, So if that kind of honesty is what you prefer, then great. We are here because we admit that we don't know much about this game. There's still much to learn from all of us, including myself, even after I've casted 3,000 games more. Now, one more thing is that I don't have a lot of RAM in my brain. I don't store useless information like how long does it take for mutualists to be built, or what is the upgrade capacity of this unit, blah blah blah. This is why I use dictionaries for that. I have dictionaries, I can look it up, and I have a long-term project so that I can convert them into visuals. So anytime I want to look up something, I just pop the visual right in front of the cast, and I can tell you here are the top 10 units that takes time to update, or here the most expensive units in Starcraft for Terran, for example, or here the requirements. In the future I want to build a unit card, an upgrade card, and a building card, similar to I have built, as you can see, I've built the player card. The player card gives some vital information about the player, the photo of the player. Maybe I've not yet started on that project. I think I should at some point. I should have the photo player inside the player card. But I will do the same for the players, for the upgrades, for the units, and also for the buildings. Imagine you have a, I don't know, Dark Templar card. Isn't that so fun? It has a picture of the Dark Templar. It tells you how much time to need to build it, how much it costs, what are the abilities, how much energy you start with, blah, blah, blah. It would be so fun. And I won't have to just look up my dictionary again. I won't have to actually pop all of those information into my RAM, because my RAM is reserved for other things like photos of sexy girls. Anyways, it's going to be a nice attack here. And it is going to be SoO slightly in a dire situation again. But the mutualists from Hero are damaged too. Both players have very damaged mutualists. But of course, the resupply route is faster for SoO. But he's losing things left and right. Looks like Hero will be winning this game here. And looks like Hero is going to be the next person who qualified. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye-bye.